Self-discipline isn't a modern trend, it's an ancient strength. Long before productivity hacks and morning routines filled our timelines, the Stoics lived a life sculpted by reason, restraint, and inner order. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius asked himself daily, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This wasn't morbid, it was purposeful. When you reflect on your mortality, every decision gains clarity. Stoics practice memento mori to sharpen their focus, choosing what matters over what distracts. Discipline begins by knowing the direction of your life and being willing to act as if today is the only day that matters. Epictetus reminded his students, "No great thing is created suddenly," and so the Stoics mastered their mornings. They didn't just wake up, they prepared themselves. Through reflection, silence, and setting intentions, they anchored the day before it pulled them apart. Self-discipline thrives in ritual. You don't need 100 tasks before 6 a.m., you need one conscious choice. Who am I becoming today? Seneca, a man of immense wealth, routinely slept on the floor, fasted, and wore rough clothes. Why? To remind himself that comfort is a choice, not a right. Stoics practice voluntary discomfort, not to suffer, but to prepare. If you train your body and mind to endure small hardships, you grow resilient against greater ones. Self-discipline isn't forged in ease, it's tested and tempered in the fire of chosen difficulty. Contrary to popular belief, Stoics didn't suppress emotion, they refined it. They believed emotion should serve reason, not overrule it. Discipline is not cold detachment, it's calm command. When anger flares or cravings whisper, the Stoic pauses, evaluates, and asks, "Is this worthy of me?" This pause, this inner veto, is where self-discipline lives. You're not at war with emotion, you are its master. These 4 strategies are only the beginning. The Stoics didn't just teach ideas, they lived them. The Stoics taught that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment of it." To develop discipline, you must first learn to reframe discomfort. Train yourself to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities. When you zoom out, when you view problems from the lens of eternity, the urgent becomes insignificant and the essential becomes clear. Perspective is power, and self-discipline thrives when we stop exaggerating the moment. Epictetus reminded us, "Do your duty, without concern for the outcome." This is the Stoic art of detached action, to give your best effort without craving a reward. Modern discipline often collapses under the weight of expectation. But the Stoics knew, true strength lies in focusing only on what is within your control. Show up, work well, release the rest. When you stop chasing applause and begin serving excellence, self-discipline stops being forced and starts becoming natural. Each night, Stoics returned to themselves. They examined their thoughts, measured their actions, and questioned their motives. Seneca called this self-scrutiny, a daily audit of the soul. What did I do well? Where did I fall short? What will I do better tomorrow? Discipline is not a straight line. It is corrected, daily, through honest reflection. No blame, no shame, just quiet correction. This is how the Stoics turned mistakes into mastery. 7 timeless strategies. From mastering mornings to mastering the mind. From voluntary hardship to daily reflection. These aren't just tools for productivity, they are principles for living. The Stoics didn't aim to be disciplined for show, they aimed to be free. Free from impulse, free from regret, free to choose the right action, no matter how difficult. And now, so can you. If these lessons moved you, subscribe and stay with us. More Stoic insight is coming, not to fill your mind with quotes, but to forge a character that endures. Discipline begins in thought, but it's proven in action. Let's remember what the Stoics taught us. Begin with the end in mind. Master your mornings. Embrace voluntary discomfort. Let reason lead emotion. Shift your perspective. Act without attachment. Reflect daily with honesty. 7 principles. 1 purpose, to train the self so the self doesn't betray you. Knowledge means nothing if it stays in the mind. The Stoics didn't read philosophy to feel smart. They read to become better. So how do we integrate? Start small, repeat often, be patient, choose 1 principle and embody it for a week. Notice resistance. Let that be your teacher. Self-discipline isn't born from a single breakthrough. It's built brick by brick, moment by moment in silence. Even the Stoics failed. Marcus Aurelius confessed to distraction. Seneca admitted to backsliding, but they never gave up. When you slip, don't spiral. Begin again. Discipline isn't perfection, it's loyalty to the process. Get back up, not because it's easy, but because it's right. That's what separates the philosopher from the pretender. Every disciplined life becomes a quiet legacy, not in trophies, not in titles, but in the way you show up, when no one's watching, in the patience you extend, in the words you choose, in the peace you protect. The Stoics didn't shout their discipline, they lived it. Now it's your turn. If this series resonated, share it, reflect on it, return to it. But more than that, live it. Because the world doesn't need more opinions, it needs more examples. And self-discipline is where that example begins. In a world of infinite noise, discipline begins with the art of silence. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The Stoic approach to digital distraction isn't about deleting every app. It's about choosing when you engage, set boundaries, use tech like a tool, not a crutch. Let your time be ruled by values, not algorithms. Turn notifications off and turn your mind on. When insulted or provoked, the Stoic doesn't react. He responds with reason. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In daily life, this means choosing the pause, breathe, reflect, then act. This is emotional discipline, the highest form of strength. Seneca said, "While we waste our time hesitating and postponing, life is slipping away." The Stoic doesn't wait for motivation. He moves with meaning. When you feel the pull of comfort, ask, "What would my future self thank me for?" Discipline is rising, not because you feel like it, but because your values demand it. Stoicism isn't anti-success, it's anti-attachment. You work hard, not for praise or outcome, but because it's your duty. Discipline means showing up, again and again, without needing applause, guarantees, or quick results. Detach from the outcome, attach to the process. Stoic self-discipline isn't about becoming a stone, it's about becoming stable. In a world of noise, be silent. In chaos, be calm. In temptation, be true. Apply what you've learned. Because philosophy doesn't live in words, it lives in how you carry yourself when it counts. Anyone can appear disciplined when life is easy, but Stoicism was never meant for comfort. It was forged in hardship, meant for war, exile, loss, betrayal, and death. This is the real test. Can you stay anchored when the world tilts? The Stoics didn't fear hardship, they trained for it. Epictetus lived in slavery. Marcus Aurelius ruled during plague, war, and betrayal. Seneca was forced to take his own life by the emperor he once mentored. Yet none of them collapsed. Why? Because they had already accepted one thing: life is chaos. But the self need not be. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The Stoics' first response to chaos is not panic, it's perspective. Ask yourself, what part of this is mine to control? What response reflects who I want to be? That split second of clarity? That's Stoic self-discipline. Pain, fear, rage, these are natural. Stoicism doesn't deny them, it disciplines them. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." You don't suppress emotion, you train it, like a wild horse until it follows your command. That's not coldness, that's control. 3 tools the Stoics used in chaos: breath, slow it, own it, anchor the body before the mind. Reason, ask, what would a wise person do next? Virtue, act with courage, justice, and temperance no matter what, even when everything falls apart. These 3 pillars stay standing, and so can you. Chaos will visit you. Loss, betrayal, death, uncertainty. The question is not if, but who will you be when it comes? The Stoics answered that long ago. Be the stillness. Be the reason. Be the one who remains unshaken. Not because life is easy, but because you have become strong. If you followed this series from the start, you're not just learning Stoicism, you're living it. Subscribe for deeper dives, modern applications, and more timeless wisdom for the moments when you need it most.